Alright, ladies and gentlemen, how you guys doing today on this Tuesday, March the 8th, 2022? Thank you for joining me here tonight for another metallic episode of Music of Destruction, bringing you the very best in metal-related content right here on YouTube on one of the only metal channels you guys are going to need. If you missed anything in the past week, click that eye in the upper right corner, bring down the menu, everything you need to get caught up on all the latest content is there. I'd appreciate it. If you want me to review anything, drop a suggestion in the comment section below. If I review it, you're lucky because there's a lot of stuff people request or have requested over the years that I can't stand. But you guys are catching on to what I love and what I hate, which is great. But I don't like slam, deathcore, metalcore, or modern tech death. Remember, subscribe, turn on that notification bell so you don't miss anything. One of the hardest working metal channels on the platform right here on Music of Destruction. Thank you very much. Welcome to Album Review Tuesdays here on the channel, and tonight we're going deep beneath the underground into China for a look at one of my favorite DSBM bands with Be Persecuted-End Leaving, which was released in 2009 on No Colors Records. Now this is the box set that I managed to get with I.I as well. Now this came out in 2018 on W.V Sorcerer Productions and limited to just 222 copies, and I was lucky enough to snag a copy off of eBay. Now you might be able to still find it on eBay, but it's very rare. 222 tapes in this box set, it might be hard to track down. Now Be Persecuted formed back in 2005 and hails from Nanchang, China, and have released 2 demos, 2 splits, and 2 full lengths, and this box set right here. So I'm not sure if they're going to be releasing any more material because as far as I know they are no longer active, but which is a bit of a letdown because I'd really like to see these guys put out some more stuff as they're one of the best DSBM bands I've heard. Now the lineup on End Leaving is as follows. We have Autism on drums, guitars, and keyboards, Nanchang on bass and guitars, and Zhao handling the vocals. Alright, so let's get into the review. The album opens up with Hopeless Far Beyond, and the guitars come in like cold razor blades running across your flesh with nothing but pure pain and solitary despair sucking you down into its mesmerizing hypnotic funeral dirge with some absolute tortured, agonizing screams of pain and melancholy. Now the atmosphere on this short 4-minute track sets up the path to inevitable self-destruction and suicide. A slow drum beat comes in to carry you further into its blood-red-soaked room of misanthropic nihilism and worthlessness, and it's a truly captivating track. This is a great opener. Next up is The Last Rite, and this is a fast-paced trip into utter despair and nihilism. The guitars are ice cold and the riffs are filled with pain and anguish, but the drum work is really fast and frantically chaotic, almost like it's conveying panic and strong psychoses as it slows down into the track's main framework. But it retains a very fast tempo speed, but the guitar work shifts into higher peaks and valleys throughout its despondency, and Zhao's vocals are absolutely incredible on this track, which are drenched in muffled reverb and pain, and they sound like another instrument, of course, which I think is absolutely awesome. This works really well to compose the track's overall atmosphere and mood. It's an excellent track and one of my favorites on the record. Next up is All End Soon, and the album continues to unfold like a chilling tale of some of the most compelling emotional roller coasters a person can experience, and this once again is alive with hopeless, nuanced, chilling guitar work that sends chills down the spine with how emotional and downright miserable it all is. However, this is so well done that it literally compels your attention for the entire duration of the record, even though it drains your soul right out of whatever hope and light that shines within you, only to be replaced by the dark and cold emotional states that the tracks invoke within the mind of the listener. Now the double bass drum work adds a great deal of heaviness and speed, however the vocals and melancholic drenched guitars are more akin to beautiful despair and ice cold solitude, but also the final release of the soul from the body in mortal existence. And my God, does this band ever know how to convey true misanthropic depression and isolation extremely effectively, and this is another amazing track. Next up we have the masterpiece that is the title track, End Leaving. This one is a slower paced affair that sounds like the end, of course. Suicidal anguish and suffocating despair have firmly grasped the throat, and the razor is mocking the flesh as the guitar work plods along a futile mind state. It's just barely hanging on, but it's hanging on for dear life, as the vocals and guitar work are the audio equivalent of a complete psychotic breakdown riddled with depression and anxiety. Now this is of course coupled with the uncertainty of death and all of its mystery, as the unwavering emotional intensity not only pulls you deep into its grasp, but its relentless melodies of bleakness and pain are beautifully mesmerizing and deeply felt. There's a lot of beauty and serenity to this kind of metal that many people disregard, and thus they miss out. But that's fine. Alright, so let's check out End Leaving right here on Music of Destruction. Enjoy. And we are back, and this is easily one of the best tracks on the record for myself, and I love it to death. Next up is Swirl, and the descent deeper into the well of blood-soaked bandages and deep wounds of the soul continues on this track, as well as this is another slow, despondent affair. I cannot help but think that this music was created out of complete necessity due to the horrific communist life in China, but I also think it's about the band's personal experiences and hardships throughout their lives. The vocals on this one are so anguished and cold that they sound like a tortured soul from beyond the grave crying out in agony to be recognized and heard. The guitar riffing emphasizes this very well, and the drums are slow and cold as well. This is literally lifeless and still, but the atmosphere itself moves throughout the ethereal plane of existence that this track is conveying. And as I've said before in previous videos reviewing DSBM, I personally think that a lot of these artists are doing their absolute best to sound as non-human as possible, and that comes right down to the emotions as well, because if death sounds like this, then is it really that bleak and sad? Or is it just serene and beautiful? Because while this music is ugly and dark, it's equally beautiful and breathtaking at the same time. But I'd imagine that the emotions are a duality of perhaps both the living and the dead simultaneously, perhaps longing for death and beyond. This is another amazing track. Closing out this 35-minute journey into bleak suicidal despair is Curtain Call. And like its namesake, this sounds like the absolute end of one's journey into the darkest recesses of the human psyche, and death has finally been achieved. There is no more point to the continuation of life as one may know it, especially in the case of someone that has obviously had enough and cannot take it anymore. At the same time, this music is extremely therapeutic and cathartic, so perhaps this is the artist's way of hanging on and clinging to hope that something will turn it all around, because DSBM is an obvious exercise of extreme negativity and life's darkest experiences. And this album perfectly encapsulates all of this to its utmost perfection. Be Persecuted does not sound like anyone else out there, guys, and this is excellent depressive black metal, and if you're looking for deep music, then this band is certainly going to be for you, and certainly this record. The final verdict for End Leaving from Be Persecuted is getting a perfect 10 out of 10. It's one of my favorite DSBM albums. This is one of my favorite DSBM bands, and hailing from China, you know this is authentic stuff. Alright, so there you have it, another album review in the books here on Music of Destruction. I hope you enjoyed the premiere here tonight. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. Teespring.com/music-of-destruction, bonfire.com/store/music-of-destruction for merch there. On Patreon, if you'd like to help out there, The Seed episode 35, The History of Cryptopsy, up there now. I know you guys are waiting for a new podcast. I've been very busy working on a lot of other things, so I will get to it when I have time. $5 a month helps the channel out. It shows you support. Also, buying merch and super chats. You guys know what it is. Please support the channel. I would really appreciate it. Have an awesome night. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you for Album Ranking Wednesdays. See you in the next video.